Okay, before I start talking about factoring ax squared plus bx plus c, I want to remind you about a couple things that you've learned in the past. The first thing is how to find the area of a rectangle that's split into sections like the one that I have drawn here. And just to remind you about how you do that, you take this little section here is 2x, and this section is 3x, so you multiply those together to get 6x. So let's do that first. 2x times 3x is 6x squared. And now this is still 2x times 7, so 2x times 7 would give me 14x. And then this is 3, and this is 3x, so that would give me a total of 9x. And this is 3, and this is 7, so 3 times 7 is 21. And I see I could, if I wanted to write the area of this whole entire rectangle, I could add the 9x and the 14x because they're like terms. And I could write the area of the whole rectangle as 6x squared plus 23x, which is what I get when I add 9x and 14x, plus 21. That's one way of writing it. Another way of writing it is length times height, and the length of this whole thing is 2x plus 3. And the width of the whole thing is 3x plus 1, 7. And so another way of writing it is 3x plus 7 times 2x plus 3. So these two things are equivalent. It's just two different ways of writing exactly the same information. What we're doing today is we're going to take this answer and we're going to factor it into its factors. And I'm going to do that by using this rectangle method. So the first thing I'm going to do is recognize that when I factor this, I'm hoping that I get something times something, and when I FOIL it, it'll equal 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. The hard part, so this one's not too bad at the start because pretty sure that 2x times x is going to be the only thing that gives me the 2x squared I need. The hard part is figuring out what these last numbers have to be because they have to multiply out to be 5, and when I do outer plus inner, that has to be 11. Some people would just use trial and error to figure that out, which is fine. If you don't want to use trial and error, you can draw, I usually draw an X here, and I put the product number down in this spot and the sum number in this spot. To get the product number, I take the first times the last. And so 2x squared times 5 gives me 10x squared, so I'm going to put that here, 10x squared. And to get the sum number, I just put in that middle number, 11x. So what I'm looking for these two spots here are what numbers, when I multiply them together, do I get 10x squared. At the same time, when I add those two numbers, I get 11x. So sometimes what I do is I just start listing all the things that would give me the 10x squared. So I could have, x times 10. I could have 2x times 5x. Oh, there has to be an x there too. But I can see right now that if I were to turn this times into a plus, I would want the x and the 10x because they add to be 11x. So this is going to be 1x and this is going to be 10x. Now when I add them, I get 11x. When I multiply them, I get 10x squared. The reason I did that was because I'm going to use this same model of a rectangle to figure out what my factors are for that trinomial. Now, what I'm going to fill in here, the first term's going to go up here, just like it did in the picture that I showed you over here. So 2x squared is going to be filled into that box. And then the last term, like this 21 is the last term here, the last term, which is 5, is going to go over here. And these two numbers that I just found, the x and the 10x, are going to go here because they have to add up to be 11x. So now I just created 2x squared plus 11x plus 5. Now my job is going to be to try to figure out what my factors are. So 2x times x will give me 2x squared that I need. If I know this side is x, this side has to be 1 because 1 times x is the only thing that'll give me 1x. And if I know this is 2x, then this would have to be 5 because 5 times 2x would give me the 10x I need. Now it stands to reason that this length is 5, this length is 1, so this is 5. Therefore, my factors are going to be x plus 5 and 2x plus 1. So those are my factors. If I used FOIL, I would get this back. Now we can try that on this next problem here. Same method, only it's a different problem. So watch the next video to get the solution for that one.